How's it going, shipheads? Welcome to what I'm calling the Sudbury Saturday night stream, because it's Saturday night, and guess where I am? So, let you know what I'm doing here. We got the little Cardassian Federation imposter. We got some lights on it, and spend a little time this afternoon trying to clear these little side windows out. Got some paint in there, got some schmoo in there, but you know what? That's okay. We can have a few windows that are off, a few rooms that aren't on. So hard to see on camera. It looks pretty nice and blue, but I actually gotta do a lot of touching up there. I need another coat of copper on this. I've got some nice light coming through that little bottom part there. So I went around basically repainted this whole thing. I wasn't happy with the paint job. It was too dark. So the only spot there, you can see a little bit of that darker color coming down the middle. A little highlight of it right there. That's about all that's left. I painted over most of the green highlights too. The color scheme just wasn't working. A little bit of green left right there, but not much. I got rid of most of it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do my little marker lights here. So I tried an experiment. Since it's so small, such a tiny hole, I just took a little bit of clear red and I just dropped a drop of it right in there. And you know what? It's a little bit off. Kind of spread a little wider than I was expecting. So I think I'll scrape it off and do what I was doing here. So I got the Omni Fixo out because they're just holding these. Some little fiber optic, and I just dipped the end of it there in the red. And I know this is supposed to be a green one, but I'm just going to use the hole to demonstrate. I have to cut that off. So there, if I just put it down into there, it doesn't quite show up quite red enough. So I think I'm just going to go with the little drip method there. Hey, there's Keith. Hey, Keith. Keith from Bricks and Sprues. How you doing tonight? Nice to see you, my friend. So I'm just going to give this a shake. I'm just going to use what's in the lid here. Let me change to my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. All right. So I'll just get barely a drop on the end of it here. And I'm just going to even get rid of some more. I'm just going to touch the tip here. Wipe off the excess. Probably should have did that on this one too. It's okay because I can just peel it off. sort of just scrape around it. Get rid of the extra. Where's my sharp one? So, Keith, how are you tonight? Are you just hanging out, watching me, or are you working on your Kronos 1? Maybe anything else? Okay. Says doing good. How are you? Well, I'm doing okay. Just trying to take it easy. There, so a little bit more. Give that a wipe. All right, this is not happening the way I want it to. This is too blunt. Keith says I'm going to record the intro and outro for the final engine build of the Citroen. Excellent. I'll have to take the time and get caught up on your latest couple for that. Let me try this again with a sharper point here, because I just want the tiniest bead of it on here. There we go. Nice coverage. And then I could just kind of use the edge of the stick. Get rid of the excess. I'll go in there with a tiny, tiny brush and clean that out, or brush over it. But this one worked out really well. That one looks good. So I'm going to do the same thing with the green on the other side. I did the bottom one. Actually, the bottom could use another little dot of it. It's not really that red. So we're just going to touch it on there. There we go. It's not as bright as the one on top, which I just stuck my finger into. Because, of course, I did. Okay. Don't touch it. Let it dry. All right, so put it down. Doesn't touch anything. Let's cover up the red here. Keith says, Helen says hi to you and Mary. Well, hello to Helen and good evening to her. Mary's getting ready. I think she already left. She's going to go hang with the girlfriends. Have some laughs. Oh, I don't like when that happens. There we go. Okay, so the same thing. Just clean off my stick here. Be careful not to touch the other ones that aren't dry yet. I'll get to the bottom one first here. So I'm just going to dip the stick Get a tiny bead of green on there. And touch. I did it again. I'm bad at this. Thought I was being careful. The lid's got like some sort of weird schmoo in it there. We're just gonna do that one again. I'll get the paint from the jar instead. What is that? Oh, I bet you a fiber from the thing here, the swab. Fiber from the cotton swab. Give it a rest, dog. Yeah, I went and wiped it with the I wiped it with the cotton and it left a bunch of fibers in there. It's actually not bad. It's like all gumming up. Maybe it needed to be thinned. All right, have a good time, hon. See you later. Okay, so Mary's just leaving now. I thought she already left. Okay, so I'm gonna get the red again. Get the red out. Keith says, what are you using to color those lights? I'm using Tamiya clear. Clear red, clear green. So I was showing this earlier. I did have these tiny fiber optics, and those are painted red and green, but they're a little too tiny. They're a little too small, and they weren't giving me the color that I wanted on there. Okay, I fixed it. Okay, so now don't touch it. Okay, that one's fine. Okay, so we got one on the front here that can stay white. So I'll try to use one of my little fiber optic things there. Let's see. We'll take this one. I'm just going to take a little piece of this. This stuff's not much larger than like fishing line. I got a little thing that I use to put glue in sometimes. There it is. So I'm just going to get some glue. Don't have to worry about painting this one. So right there. You can't even see it. So I'm going to dip it in. So I've melted it down into a little dome. We've got a nice bright light right there. So that's what I wanted to do there, but didn't want to work out for me. I suppose I could have painted more paint. Could have filled the holes with paint. I could have also painted the lights, but that I was recommended not to do that. All right, so I got a little bit. It's a little on the corner of the blue right there. I want to see if I can get that out. So there's actually no paint there. I masked the inside and I masked the outside to try to get that bit of a Raytheon effect going. And it's not bad. The only thing in there for blue light is just one single blue LED, like right there. And it's not bad. This one's a little better. I didn't want to use one of those little filaments for something small like this that I was basically just playing around with to challenge myself to make a Federation ship out of a Cardassian ship. And I did it too. I didn't use any other model kit parts, and I didn't use any other pieces of plastic or any bits from anything else. It's strictly 100% made out of this ship's model kit, except for these. And what I did there was that's just super glue and baking soda. Same with the clear part around the dish, super glue and baking soda. The center of the dish here is actually the back tailpiece that would have been the cap for right there. The shuttle bay is the middle of one of the deck bridge pieces that had a raised part. So I got to repaint this area. I'm not happy with that color. I think I'll go with the gray here. It's just the AK play marker, gunmetal play marker. Before I do that, let's address that paint issue around the marker lights I just put in. I should be able to touch that up now. Okay. Not bad. Okay, that takes care of that. Those back ones aren't bad. Can leave that. Just clean my little brush here. All right. My impulse engine's not bad, but there's a little tiny bit of paint on it that I don't like, so I'm gonna see if I can get that off. The red on this is painted on the inside, so I'm not worried about it. All right, so like a little imperfection in the plastic there, and now the paint stayed in. There we go. Just had to turn sideways a little bit and get into that groove. Okay, so I've got a couple more little spots here that are going to get these little filaments. All right, so I need a little glue. Hey, get on there. Glue cap trying to run away on me. So I just dip the end in there, and put it in the hole, like so. Give it a second to sit there. clippy. Now I've got a bit sticking up here, so I'm just gonna go close to it. There we go. Let's see if I can get this one just a little bit more. Yeah, a little flatter. Nice. All right. So I've got another. Where's my scissors? There we go. Another bit of glue. So I got 2 spots right here. You know what? I don't know why I'm not using this. Oh, there's no rubber on that one. There we go. Don't know why I wasn't doing that in the first place. I'll clip that off. Okay, some glue on this one. Stop. Stop. All right. Okay, so I'm going to make sure these start out the same. So that when I melt them down, I don't get 2 different size domes. Perfect. Oh, there we go. I was out of frame there. All right, not bad. Do I have any other holes? Do I have? Oh yeah, I do have more holes. I do have more holes. Like this. Can we see them? Nope. So those ones right there. Make sure they're not filled with glue. See, that one's blocked. That one's blocked. Okay, so I have to clear those again. Okay. Can't even pick it up. It's so tiny. All right. All right, so there's one. All right. I'll try and get a smaller one here. There, that's a little better. There we go. Still looks like a weird face. Some kind of whale face or something. All right, so let's get the copper again. Just give it a little shakey shake. Well, looks like I had another viewer or two, and then I don't. But whatever, people stopping in, checking it out. I didn't announce this stream ahead of time or pre-schedule it or tell anyone or advertise. I don't like how glittery this is. You can really see the metallic flakes. I like the look of the AK marker one better. It's a little difficult to use though. Trying to just get the edge of this. Ugh. That's gross. I think I'm gonna try to repaint that. It's just not smooth. It's like too small for me to try to do with the airbrush. I can't mask it off. I just can't right now. Try and get in there with my brush and clean it out. I got these little spikes on the front here that I left, so it makes it difficult to try to clean the paint out. But looks like I'm gonna have to repaint the blue as well. Just trying to avoid that. Let me get a better brush for this. Let me see. Let's get something a little stiffer. There we go. That's doing it. All my dry ones. There we go. This one's dry. Rather coarse. Let's see if I can just kind of get that out of there. Very difficult for myself. Let's see, we'll grab one of these. Grab this pointy little sanding thing here. It's not working for me. It's not sharp enough. Better off just using the blade. Nothing you can't fix with some kind of a blade. Just scrape it down smooth. Need to get the tip right in the corner there. Try to clear the little spikes off. Tiny details that you can't even see. The ends of these little spikes have like a V cut in them. They're like split open at the end. Just trying to clean that out. Not like anybody cares anyway. Now try and get rid of that dust here. Got splashes everywhere. All right, well, that's not going to get much better than that. I think stop there. And there's Andrew. Andrew's here. He says, how's it going there, Jody? Hi, Andrew. It's going. I'm just tinkering away. That's all. Have a sip of my coffee. Sweet and hot. So I've been trying to do little touch-ups around my little dish area here. And I used the Tamiya copper. And it's just not smooth enough for me. Doesn't look nice. I'm going to try the copper pen again. AK copper. And there's also the bronze, which is sort of close. It's just like a little bit of a more of a goldy sort of copper. So either one would work. But I'm going to try the copper one. See what I can do. Oh, with that. Oh, that's good. Even though they made my coffee wrong, I don't care. It's still good enough for me. All right, so I'm going to do my best with this. Try and get an outline. See, it's tough when you're dealing with light, especially here. Maybe I should have painted this black first. It's going to need a couple coats, but that's the thing with this. When you put multiple coats, it gets really blobby and rough. Andrew says, OT. Says it's not Tim Hortons till they get your order wrong. Oh, it's Tim Hortons all the time down here. Unless Mary's mom is at work. That's the only time. Well, not the only time, but I always get it correctly when Mary's mother is working. There's a couple other young folks that work there that are very careful at the orders and don't make any mistakes. But I'm just so used to it. I'd say at least 5 out of 10 times I don't get what I've ordered. Okay, so it went off the edge a bit there. It is a lot smoother. I like the way this looks. Better than the Tamiya paint. It kind of levels itself out if you can get enough of it on there. The only thing is, the longer you work with it, it kind of starts to coagulate. And then when you touch spots you've already painted, it gets kind of blobby. But if I can keep a liquid layer and get one solid oxymoron, a solid liquid layer, but you know what I mean, one consistent layer of liquid across the entire surface. Just going to lean it back a bit and try to make it flatter so it doesn't kind of run to one side. We'll try that. I'll give it a minute to settle down a little bit. And we'll take a look at this guy. So here's my Ferengi ship here that I cut in half down the middle. And I'm going to put back in this direction. But last time I had this out and I was working on it, I added this resistor to the red light. And I don't think I need it because it lowered the brightness of that red light far too dim. It's barely visible anymore, so I'm going to remove the resistor. Turn on my desoldering iron. Make sure there's no wires touching it or in the way, because I've got wires everywhere. Let's get the power off the Cardassian one. Literally nowhere on the desk to put anything. Oh, goes in the paint booth. Curse you past me for doing such a good job soldering this and wrapping it up. Okay. That's off. That's off. Where's my twisty tweezers? But I have to change to my normal glasses here. I can't focus. There we go. Now I can see. Now I can see. Okay, so we got a power supply coming up through the tube. So this red needs to go to this red. I've only got the 3 lights in there so far. Let's get the power on it. Boom, that's much better. Yeah, that was way too dim. Okay, so that guy goes together like this, and like that, and like this, and like this, and like that, and like this, and these wires are going to go into there, like so. Get in there. Andrew says that's a new one. Blame past me for doing a good job. Well, I'm not used to doing a good job in the past tense. Usually when I do something like that, and I knew it wasn't going to be permanent either, but I still secured it very well. So I could almost put this together. That didn't end up quite in the center like I wanted it to, but close enough. So it's going to glow like that. So I was thinking about this front little panel here. Maybe I could scrape a little bit of that off, or maybe it'll shine through right here. That might give me enough of a little glow if I put a light right in between, sort of right in the middle of that. And I'll be able to do that with this closed up. So let me get this off. Just pull some of this wire, the red one. I need these wires exposed though, because I got to hook up more stuff to it. All right, so I'm going to start by securing the back of the shell here, if I can. If I can get it straight. I'll try to get my wires in there. Like so. Put this down flat on the mat here. Right like that. Let's see. So I'm just trying to get all these little ribs here, whatever, to line up nice and evenly. Put a little bit of stuff. See if that works. Just have to hold it here for a couple seconds. Let this do its capillary action thing. Or capillary action, whatever you want to say. There's Dawn. Dawn's here. Howdy, Dawn. Dawn saying howdy, y'all. Howdy, Dawn. All right, that's not bad. All right, so now I want this. I should just going to reinforce the end of it here. worried about that coming apart. So just the end right here. Just some glue. I'll just dig that right in. Tappa, tappa. We got extra cement at the tip. A little extra cement. Okay. I should have did this before. Get some of this paint off. So this is something I should have did before putting it together, but I missed this spot. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna try to get this where I want it. Right about like that. Just gonna push in on that, hold it for a second, or 10, or 6, or however long it takes. Add a little more Tamiya thin, or extra thin, whatever it is. Just give that a push. It's gonna stay. Nope, it's not gonna stay. Get some tape. Tapey tape. Tapey tape. Where's the end? There's the beginning of the end of the tape. This is the beginning of the end of the tape. All right, get a little more juice in there. More tape. Let's see if I can hold this long enough to get it to stay in place. Oh, I got an idea. The tape. Why didn't I think of that before? Okay, so this piece I kind of just have to hold. I don't really have a choice. Good time to have a drink of coffee. Don't know why my coffee's so unspecial. Usually when they get my coffee order wrong, it's a good excuse to add a little extra flavor to it. This one's almost empty though, so I'll have to add a little extra flavor on the next one. All right, this does not want to go where I want it to go. This, to me, extra thin takes a little extra long. To set into place. So I'm going to use some glue here. I'm going to go with the crazy stuff. Even if it's just for this end. But I got to get it to stay right away. I need that to stay in place. Sorry if that hurt anybody's ears. See, there we go. Super glue stayed in place. So I'm just putting more of it down through there. Just hold on to that, squeeze her down. All right, let's take a look at the, get rid of that tape. Let's take a look at our piece here. Oh. Hello. Let's take a look at this. This is going to be my sort of top. Well, not sort of. It's going to be the top. Just make sure I got access to my wires here. Put those down in. All right, so I'm going to put this guy like that. I'll have a little bit to fill in. It's not bad. There. There. Okay. Get my marker. Get my marker. So I'm just trying to get a rough, just a rough line there. Make sure that I'm even on both sides. All right, turn that off for now. Turn this on for now. Good old Sonny. Okay, so now let's cut this guy just to the outside of these lines here. Okay, let's see. So we're looking at something like that. That's kind of cool, but it's going to have to be... do I flatten it or do I fill in that contour? Much more interesting if I was to fill in that than it would be if I flattened the whole thing. So we got a good candidate right here for Raytheon effect. That's pretty thick. Actually, probably going to have to carve that down a bit and make it thinner. Maybe not, because it goes over the edge of the wall there. That part looks like it could be the bridge area right there. Got some extra bits here we can use as greebly details. Mainly probably that little bit right there, which it looks like a little vent or something. So I think it would be more interesting if I put it on like this and then filled that and tried to keep this contour, but it's also going to be hard to do. If I just flatten that down, that's a lot easier. But then again, it might not be that easy just to flatten this. The bottom is sort of uneven. I made that super flat and straight because I cut a perfectly straight line. But if I glue this on here, I'm not getting a lot of contact spots. I'm going to have to smooth off the end of this here. Let's start with that. Sand the end down. Get a smooth surface to glue to. Hey, Sick Jim's here. How's it going, Jim? Thanks for joining me. Good to see you. I'm working on the Ferengi ship cut in half, turning it into something new and interesting and different. And the bottom of it is going to be the top of it. So right now I'm just working on getting the end of that flattened out, nice and even and smooth. Oh, I love it. Do you guys like that sound? Wasn't that wonderful? Let's get those likes up. If people like it, they'll like it. If they don't have to. Thanks for trying though, Jim. I appreciate that. Do what he says. Do what Jim says. Get the likes up. Let's see how this guy is doing in its space dock here. That looks a lot better. It's not very smooth and flat, but it still looks a lot better. And I'm going to have to touch up my blue inside that. I guess I'll have to try to scrape it off. I don't want to, but I might have to. It's not super nice in there. But I don't know. And I still got to repaint this. These boozards. The boozard collectors. The model students here. How's it going, model student? Says, howdy y'all. Just a thought from the couch potato peanut gallery. Maybe a thin strip of styrene to hide the gap. We're talking about this gap right here. We're talking about this. Right? I'm thinking that too. A thin strip of styrene right here to fill the gap. But the thing is, the way this goes right here. So there's like a triangular bit that goes there when that is in one piece. So I suppose I could cut that in half and put it in there. He says, yes, sir. You can shape it easily at least. Yes. And Steve Martin's here. How's it going, Steven? Says, good evening, Joe. Joe. Whatever, man. Neat build. Thank you, sir. This one? Or this one? Which one are you talking about? This one? Or this one? Which one? So this one is the Cardassians' effort to impersonate Federation ships because they want to more easily conquer unwitting planets that may have heard of the legends of the Federation. So whatever, I don't know. I was trying to come up with some narrative. So this is the Keldon class reconstructed to appear as a Federation ship. So there we go. We got our dish here. We got our glowy bits. Let's turn this light off. There we go. Maybe this one. There we go. So earlier I put in some little, those little dome right here. These little fiber optic domes. One right there. Two right there. And I was going to do it for the marker lights, but I was having problems because the holes are like all filled with glue. So I just sort of painted the spot. And we got some domies there. Got some lighties there. Got our little shuttle bay. Jody Big Fingers, Steve says. Don says, they're all neat, bud. Thanks, Don. Oh, and I put some little domes in there. Those are like torpedo launchers, I guess. I should have painted those orange. I could always put a little dot of orange paint on it. So we got like our little center or whatever light down there. I think that looks pretty cool. I just masked it off and left it not light blocked. So the blue part here, the ring on this and the Bussard collectors are made out of glue and baking soda. I just kept dipping and building layers and building. Sort of 3D printed it and then filed it down to the right shape. Got a little bit of work to do on that still. I wish it would focus. There we go. So I had this painted a totally different, I posted on Discord there some pictures of the way it was painted, but I wasn't happy with it. So I changed it. I lightened it, made it a little more grayish rather than the dark brown that it used to be. This sort of dark brown you see down the center there. Right there on the front, you see that darker sort of mustardy beige. The whole thing was that. And then it had this green that you see right there. It was like the panel highlights, but it clashed. It was too green and too brown. So I rethought my color scheme. There. So I got a post for this somewhere. Actually, it's right here. No, that's not it. I got one somewhere. I got a little post for this. There's a stand. So yeah, I'm going to mount this on a little stand. It's going to be too small to have a battery, so maybe I'll just have a little wires trailing off of it to like a little battery box or something. And I could have like a bunch of little models on the same sort of power feed, right? Because these are so small. There's not going to be a ton of lights in them. So I could use like one battery box to power 2 or 3 of these little models right here. All right, so we're looking at the, what I did there was I just left it unpainted on the inside. So we got a little Raytheon effect there. I have that orange bit down in there. That's a filament light. And then I just got two white LEDs right there. They're going to light those up, which are orange. Actually, let's put one down there and see what it looks like. Let's see. Model student says, last I saw, it was green. Looks better now. Yeah, it does, eh? I agree. Thank you. I wasn't happy with the green myself. Let's see how that looks. It should fit right in there. There we go. Looks like I marred the corner a little bit. But there we go. Looks more red than orange. But when we turn that off, it's really nice and orange. I wonder if I should light block. Probably didn't even need those 2 little lights down there. Probably just go with the whole thing being red. But then that's just really, really red. I want that to be orange. So I might have to make a little dividing wall in between those 2, which is not going to be an easy thing. I need to add a little dot of orange to the corner there. It's off a little bit. It's a little off. All right, so what I got to do is get let's get these wires up and visible. Okay, so this is going to kind of be hard because I got wires sort of in the way. Some over here and some over here. If I could get these ones to go in between my lights and go in behind them, we'll be all right. There's Cam. Cam's here. Good Sudbury Saturday night, Jody says. Thanks, Cam. How you doing tonight, buddy? Good to see you. So we'll see if I can get this pointed down a little bit that way more. Not easy to move those around when they're mounted, glued in place. I don't want the glue to pop off because I've put this together. I don't want that to come apart now. Okay, so maybe we'll keep these two right there. And this one. So we'll keep those up and out of the way. All right, so I gotta kind of estimate use this piece right here. That's my best guess. Can I get that to go flatter? Yeah. 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 There, now that's kind of out of the way. That's better. That's better. Hope those don't break. All right, so I'm going to disconnect them all for now. It's not confusing. All the reds go to all the reds and all the blacks go to all the blacks. This will just make it easier for me to get that dividing piece in there because that's cleared. Now I can see in there. see. So we want to kind of bend this a little, sort of like that. We'll go a little bit more there. Okay. Bend this like I'm rolling it. Okay, so the end of it needs to be cut out for the end of that little filament to be able to get in there. And we'll go a little more narrow again. Just taking a bit off the sides. Get this guy to fit in there, and I want to try to curve this a little bit, which is hard to make a compound curve, but you sort of can. You just kind of work it around with your fingers and soften it up. Gets a little soft, and we got kind of a little scoop there. Scoop, scoop-a-doo, scoop-a-doo. All right, so I want all the long ones there, the short ones here. Squeezy. Actually fits in there pretty well. Got a tiny bit of the orange end sticking out, but I think I can paint over that in black. I could glue this in right now and then just cut it off. That'll make my life super easy, barely an inconvenience. If I can get a little bit more of it. All right, I've got a funky guitar pick going on here. Just get in this a little bit more. Yeah. All right, now I can't get in there with my fingers anymore. So hopefully I can get this to fit. Let's see if I can try. Stupid fat fingers. Okay. A little bit of glue. All right, so that's blocked. So let me get a little black here. Just the cheap stuff. This stuff's real thick and thick and rich. Thick and rich, sick and twisted. All right. Yay. Okay, we'll get the big gross dirty brush here. Just get the end of that. Try to keep the red from affecting it. See how well I've done. All right. I was like, oh, why isn't it working? I was like, yeah, I kind of took all the lights apart. All right. What was that?
The fan fell over.
The fan fell over?
Yes.
Trent's here. Says, hey, Jody, how's it going, eh? How's it going, shiphead? What's up, Trent? How you doing tonight? All right, so there we got this guy. I'm playing cheap engineer. The other fella's saying hi to Trent. All right, so we need a bit more blocking there. A bit more of the blocking spiel. I can see lots of red. There we go. Bury it. My wires touched. Crossed my streams. paint don't want to stick to the silicone light there, so I got to kind of pile it on and hope it doesn't spread away. There we go. So that's not bad. So now I can try to point these ones down a bit more towards the little motors there, little windows. They're pretty even right now. I say that gets a nice little amount of light the way it is. I'll just clean my brush there. There, let's just get the little just get that little grill piece again. Oh, I got the other side this time. That's all right. Put it in there. You know, that's not bad. I can live with that. It's a lot oranger, more orange than it was. Of course, we know how these cameras work. It always looks brighter on the camera. So looking at it here with my nude eye, there's quite a difference. That's pretty red. That's pretty orange. Plus, I'm going to have these painted with red. I think I'll put some clear. I'll put like a Tamiya clear in all these divots right here just to make those look like they're red. So yeah, that's not bad. I'm happy with that. I'm just going to get this out again for now so I don't lose it. And I lost it. It's like a hockey stick. Go! That's about the extent of my hockey playing. Right there. That's about as good as I am at hockey. That's my little demonstration. Okay, so what we need to do now, oh, this happened again. You silly light. Okay, so last time I had to unplug it and plug it back in. And there, oh, I didn't spill my coffee. Of course. Good thing it was almost empty and I got this cool lid here. Spilly proof. Look at that. Look at that. Still not as nice as this one. The one that the wonderful Ken sent along. This thing's excellent, but I need to get the hot lid for it. I can't drink coffee out of this. And I don't drink cold drinks. I only drink hot stuff. Occasionally I'll have a Pepsi or something, but it doesn't need to be cold for me. And usually things that people usually drink cold, like, you know, say a rum and cola or something like that, or a mixed cocktail. No ice. Hold the ice. No, thank you. All it does is melt water down your drink, and it makes your mouth cold and your teeth cold. Whoa. There's a surprise. It looks like I got dashed. Let's heat up Canada snow. Hi, Jody. How's my favorite modeler? He's starting to sound like Kenneth. Are you rolling in the floor laughing, Howard? Howard's rolling in the fields and the floor in the barn, laughing. Well, thank you so much. That is insanely crazy, but that's not necessary at all. I'll play the dash thing. Dash. Thanks, Howard. I appreciate that, but you don't need to do that. And Don says you've been dashed. Keith saying, everyone's saying, hey, Howard, hey, Dash. The cold snow, maybe, says Howard. All right, well, thanks, Howard, but please, no more dashings. I'm already in the snow. Okay, so it looks like my little light blocking wall there is working. Guess I could have painted the whole thing, but it doesn't really matter. I think I can take my tape off. That's probably cured enough by now. Yeah, this red one's really getting warm. That's why I put a resistor on it, because it was getting so warm. But I don't know. Maybe I needed a lower resistor with less resistance. All right, let's get rid of the power. We don't need that right now. I don't want to hurt Don's eyes with the bright lights. So we've got the top here. I got to think about what I'm going to do, but I still got to fill this in. And I've got that pretty secured. Can't move that. Not that I really want to anyway. So I got to find, let's get this out of here. Got to find something that can cover the little tip here. There's Ken. Good evening, my friend Ken. How's it going? I was just showing off the lovely cup that you sent me. Trent saying hi to Ken. So I got to find a piece that's going to cover this little end of the post and that wire right there. And we've got like a little, oh, you know what? It's too bad my post is in the way, because we kind of already have almost a prefabricated chunk right there. I could, if I bent that up, sort of flatten it up like that. I kind of wanted like a little detailed looking piece there though, like maybe like something mechanical looking. What's this? Can I use this? It's got a bit of details on it. See what else I got. I have a couple little pieces of the Cardassian stuff left. Got this groovy tail thing, but I can't really use that. It's not going to do it for me. Let's see what's in this little container here. Got some old vapey things. Got some more little fiber lines. I got a wheel there. That'll make a good impulse crystal housing on a model someday, or possibly a deflector dish, something like that. We got a little plastic dome. Actually, that's off this, I think. Yeah, that's the cap for this. I was looking for that. There we go. That's better. Oh, we got a... Looks like a nacelle end cap, but this is from a pen or something. China. It's from China. That's from that. If I have another pen like this, I think I do. Are these pencils? That's actually a cool piece right there. That's like the perfect piece already. Those are from some cheap ass mechanical pencils I have kicking around, and I do believe I have a whole bunch of them. And I never noticed that until I took one of the things apart. What's that? Don't know. I don't know what that is. All right. Let's see what else we got. Gotta find a little greebly bit, mechanical looking piece that can go over that. First, I'm checking my immediate little piles of junk that are within my reach. What's this here? Got a little thing here. It's got 3 little domes in it, or 3 little holes in it, and like a little cutaway divot. Almost wants to go on there. Almost, though. Howard's saying maybe something from the car models. Yeah, but I haven't started building those yet, and I don't know. I don't want to just go in and start yanking out pieces randomly just in case I need something from them when I go to make those models. I don't want to be missing parts. Oh, I got more stuff, man. I got little containers of things stashed all over the place. What's on here? Nothing. It could be an interesting little bit from the Excelsior. It's got a bit of detail on it. We can use that. And yeah, there we go. So we can use that bit and then fill it in. All right, let me just try something. Oh, Ken saying the toy cars. Yeah. Let's see what we got on the toy cars. Where did I put those? That means I gotta find them. I gotta find them. I gotta find the toy cars. So if this doesn't work, I'll take a look at the toy cars. Howard says they're over there. They're somewhere. They're in one of my drawers of little things. All right, so let's cut this out. It's the impulse engine deck from the tiny Excelsior. Cut this off right there. Give me a minute, Paco. I'll get you a drink in a second. All right, pop that out of there. He's banging the jail bars with his metal cup. He's licking his empty water dish, which is made out of metal. Ken says, hold me closer, tiny Excelsior. Hold me closer, Tony Danza. Who's the boss inside your heart? Here you go, buddy. Here you go. Thirsty dog. Drinks a lot of water. Okay, so I'm going to get my fret leveling beam. Just going to rub this both sides. Round this part off. Sorry, buddy, you gotta wait. He's hounding for more food. Let's clip that. Okay, so I gotta get rid of this little pin right here. Oh, it hit my monitor. Hey, Shark's here. How's it going, Ricardo? Good to see you tonight. How's things in the Yucatan? Bet you it's not snowing there. It's actually not snowing here. It's freaking cold, though. It's cold, and there's already a lot of snow accumulated. Thankfully, they cleared the corners a couple days ago, so we can see that. So I just want to taper the end of it here slightly, because this comes to a point, and this is a little bit narrower right there. So if I can get this on like that, then I can sort of wrap a little band around it. All right. Okay, so this needs a little groove to I want this to sort of lock into that little strip that's there. So I'm going to try to make a little groove on this. Where's my little thin file? This one's a little more razory, a little sharper. Except there's no file on the edge of it. There we go. This is the one I was looking for. Howard says, you're one of those dogs like mine that gets a lot of food and then looks at you like he never gets. Yeah, exactly. He's always looking at me like he's freaking starving. And he's like the most pitiful dog. He weighs like 20 pounds. And he's a little Chihuahua French Bulldog mix. So you can see why he's a little thicker than the average Chihuahua, because he's half Frenchy. But he can barely climb up the stairs to get into the bed, and he can't run. And poor little guy. But that's my own fault for not taking him outside for walks and can't walk a lot. Can't be on my feet for more than 15 minutes at a time or so before the pain is too much. So I can't walk too far. So in the last couple of years, he hasn't had much of, he doesn't get the exercise that he needs. Okay, so we're going to try to contour that a little bit more. Try and make it a bit of a V shape. That. Just a couple of passes on here. So we've got more of that tapered shape right there. Okay. My little glue trough. So this one I'm just gonna get a little bit right there. And I got my little groove, and I'm just gonna stick it right in the groove like that. Right there. Okay, so this little pointy part can be clipped off. So I'll use my scissors so I can see it better. The bird is freaking out because the kid went to the washroom and left them behind. So he's mad that he didn't get to go into the bathroom. Howard says, do like my neighbor did. She took her car and would walk her dogs out in front of the car down the road. Yeah, he would never do that. You just say the word car and he's like, yeah, let's go. He likes going for a ride in the car. There's no way that he'll walk beside it or in front of it though. All right, so now I just got this little gap right there. Hopefully my wires can still move. I'll have to. Yeah, okay. Wires are good. They can move. All right, so this is, maybe I'll use a thinner piece. Well, we'll see. Let's see if I can I'm gonna cut that. All right, so I got to work this back and forth, bend it a little bit. I'm just going to go freshen up my cup of coffee. Good thing I got one already made. I just gotta throw it in there for a minute. And we're back. Okay, so I got a little U-shaped piece. Looks like it might not be long enough. Nope. Not quite long enough. Okay, so I need another piece. So I'll cut it this way. So I'm just kind of bending it back and forth. It softens it, makes it a little bit malleable. So warming it up with the heat of my fingers. Once my cup of coffee gets here, I could even put it on there. Let it stay hot that way. I don't think I have to. It's getting pretty good here. I can just bend it, curve it back and forth, working it, and working it. Working it like I'm twerking it. Everybody's twerking for the weekend. Okay. So there we go. Something like this. Now, if I can kind of estimate where I need to go for this. That goes to a point. And we can kind of try to copy that. Copy that. Roger, roger. Aww. Yeah. That's the biggest smile I've had in a long time. Okay, so that should be close to the right shape. I'm not going to cut right to those lines, of course. I'll leave it a little bit larger. Howard says, I hear Tori, the microwave, beeping. Yeah. He's at the other end of the apartment and he still heard it. Oh, I better... it's bitching at me too because I left my coffee in there. I got to go get it. Good. What time I got here? Okay, it's only 8:15. Starting to get on a roll here. I'm doing good. Feeling good about this. Model student says, I just did the same thing. Nuked a coffee. All right, cheers. Oh, kaboom. She's nuked. All right, let's get my little smile on there. Like that. Okay, so I can take a little more. Looks like I can go right to the line here. Like so. Okay. So we're going to thin that just a little more. Use this guy. Okay. Yes, my glue nub broke off. Well, I had to cut it because it was blocked. I had to clip my nub. Try not to get any on that wire because I'd like to be able to move it. If and a half to. You know, if and a half to. If and I ever got to. Put that on there. We go. That. It's gonna require a bit of. Oh, shit. This guy down like that. Sacrifice a bit of fingernail. I got lots. Got lots of thumbnail there. It's pretty big. I can spare some. You should see my toenails. Probably bigger than Shaquille's. Don't know why. It's weird. Like I'm tall and my feet are fairly big, but there's no reason that my toenail should be like 2 inches wide. Yeah, just put a little dust in there so as I can file her down. Oh, yeah, you didn't see that. I put a little bit of dust in the little end right here because there was a small gap. Yeah, let's see. I got a cheers. Saying hey to Ricardo. Trent says, I was Wukan Panub. You was Wukan Panub? What was you Wukan Panub? How do you Wukan Panub? What is that? I was never Wukan Panubin. I don't know. Maybe I've Wukan Panubbed before, but I don't know about it. I don't remember. I don't know. Have you ever Wukan Panubbed? Just get a little. Hold that down. A little dust. I'm on that dust. I'm confused. I was Wukin Penub. Someone please enlighten my old man brain on this. Working? How's it working? Working Penub? I don't know what you're talking about, man. Working Penub. Working Penub and Adawang Paises. Working Penub. I get it. Zoom. Zoom. Right over my head. Working Penub and Adawang Paces. Groovy. All right, where's my little filing board? Oh, filing board. Where are you, filing board? Come on, bird. Wookin' Penub and Ottawang Paces. Wookin' Penub is an Eddie Murphy singing as Buckwheat. Oh, that was on Saturday Night Live, right? I didn't see Saturday Night Live back in the days when Eddie Murphy was on it. I watched it a little bit in the late 80s and early 90s. And that's about it. Last time oh, there's my baby cars. There's my little cars under the paintbrush. But this seemed to work, so I don't need to use the cars. But yeah, I bought these little cars at the dollar store for $3 for 6 little cars. And I thought I got them just because they had these details. I was like, oh, those are cool, cool details, right? I can use those on model kits for details, but it turns out the whole thing is plastic. So I can use all these little details, right? Look, we got some impulse engines right there. We got vents and cowlings, and we got clear parts. And yeah, we got impulse crystal housings. Look at that. We got all kinds of, we've got shuttlecraft cockpits. We got all kinds of little stuff for making models that was cheap and fun. And I can take apart. They even got screws. They're not even riveted. I can just unscrew them. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Another cool thing, I'm going to get some red of this too. But I found this broken piece of a bike reflector on the side of the road there. And I figured that might be useful for making clear parts for a model. If you're making a really big model and this was going to be your impulse engine, that would look pretty sweet. Shine some light through that, get a red piece. So you can get reflector stuff like this cheap too at like Dollar Tree or Dollarama, whatever. And you can get red ones and orange ones and stuff like that. But that's a pretty cool little piece I can use someday when I need to. But for now, did you get that Alex bike? Maybe. If he was up here driving around in Lively and it broke off his bike. I didn't have the hole where my lips are, and I poured it down my face. On my neck. And partway down my chest. Double face to chesty with the coffee deodorant. He says, get that off. Trent says, was it next to a flat tire? No, it was just sitting on the side of the road outside the, not too far from the apartment building there one day. And I was like, oh, a little reflector. I could probably use that. I said, oh, look, a piece of discarded bicycle deflector. I might could use that for making starship components or little clear pieces. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't want to file that too much because it's going to hurt my detail. So we'll go with the knife. There's the oil. There's the oil. Ah, the oil. It says, as they said, it caught his eye reflectively. Yes, it did, because the sun was reflecting off of it. And I even got out of my car to pick it up. Oh, wow. Deadly. Okay. I need my zoomies. So as I can see this. Why does everything I do have to be so small? Oh, I think I cut a little too far into there. Didn't want to do that. Fix it with this. Little freaking hair on it. Put some hair around it, they said. There. Just gotta get that little corner sit in there a little bit better. Perfect. Perfect. It's perfect, just like me. Totally perfect. Okay. Gap right there. The tiniest of gap. Taking a look at the chat here. No new comments. Guys being nice and letting me get some stuff done. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to charge this thing. Well, it sounds like I'm gonna have to charge this thing. It's about to crap out. Okay, we got a little gap right there. I'm gonna fill that in. Just a bit of goo. Bit of goo. Just a bit of glue. Everything I do. People know the powder I'm laying. It's only baking soda. It's not the Coca-Cola. Ooh, that's what they're saying. When will come a day you to pass away? What would they say about me? When the end comes, I know I'm just a gigolo. Life goes on without me. I got nobody. Nobody for me. Nobody. Nobody cares for me. That doesn't shake my mounting post out. Shouldn't. I feel like it should be secure enough in there. Ken says, is Mary working tonight? No, Ken, she went to go hang out with some of her friends at her girlfriend's garage. So the ladies are sitting around having some dart games and drinking and smoking and all that stuff. She's doing guy stuff. Out with the guys. They're just lucky I'm not there, because if there's one thing I'm good at that I don't mind boasting about is being very good at darts. Usually don't like to toot my own horn about things too much, but when it comes to darts, my granny taught me how to play, and she was one of the best. My grandmother was still winning horseshoe trophies and dart trophies well into her late 70s, probably even her early 80s before she quit playing horseshoes. She had so many awards and trophies for everything. Horseshoes and darts and fishing and cards and whatever. I think she played softball when she was young. Yeah, my granny was quite the lady. And that's why I gave my daughter the same name. Can't say she has friends. She's so lucky. Yeah, she is very lucky. She has many, many friends. Everybody loves Mary. True though, every person I've met since I've met Mary just loves her. Haven't really encountered anyone that has a problem with my wife. I think I need to put a new sanding pad on there. It's starting to be not very effective. I like how it makes a little spine. I like how it's making that little sort of spine at the tip there. I think I'll leave that. Almost like a little spike. So I gotta get into there a bit. Try these little pointy guys here that I got with some package one of you lovely people sent me. One of you lovely bastards. Okay, so this side's got to be a lot thinner. So I'll go with the blade here since it's nice and freshly sharpened. I'm just going to do this the old-fashioned way. Kicking it olden school. I'm just going to keep scraping that down so it's thinner and thinner. Should have just used a thinner piece of plastic, but this is the one that was immediately in front of me that I didn't have to go looking for. So I used this one because it's how I do stuff. Okay, now this pointy one. Doesn't look very nice, but it feels fairly smooth. Let's see how well this files this stuff away. Hey, Trenton Bennett's here. How you doing, buddy? Says, hey, Jody and all. I'm doing the same thing you are, Jody, working on Trek models. Excellent. What are you working on? Trenton Bennett's the guy who the USS Trenton is named in honor of. He reached out and commented on my video and offered to give me the custom decals because he was wondering what the name was going to be. And I said, well, unfortunately, it's probably going to just be the Reliant because I don't have any custom deeks. And nice guy that he is, sent them to me, which was really awesome. In case anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, because some of you might not. Where are you there, Trenton? There you are. So the Trenton is this one. Which is formerly known as the Reliant. I called it the Razor class because of the fact that that is made out of a razor. Ooh, is my batteries dead? Guess my batteries are dead. Well, that's unfortunate. Have to find some batteries. Trent says she's a beauty too. Says not a problem. Happy to help out to a fellow model builder. Wow, I appreciate it. And they were actually really nice to work with. The custom decals. Where'd you get those from? Gcals? I think they were from Gcals or something else. Not sure, but wherever you got them, they worked great. There we go. They look great. The Gcals. There you go. So there we go. We got a little arboretum in there. I gotta do something about the window. I think I'm just gonna remove it so there's no window there at all, and we can see into my arboretum because I worked hard on that. I made all the little trees, and there's a little pond in there with a bridge and everything. Like all the details are there, but you can't see it because I put that stupid window in there, and it's all foggy and scratchy, and it's not good. Not good. Trenton says, good to hear about the decals. He says, yeah, got them from Gcals. Right on. So yeah, this is my modified USS Trenton, modified Reliant, which I call Razor class. Nice little red window there. We've got a little Raytheon effect with the vent there. I left that unmasked, but a little Raytheon going on here. My crystal, I always put an actual crystal in the model. So a little bit hard to see right there, but turn that off. Maybe you can see inside there. There's an actual little crystal in there. There it is. You can see it. Really one of my favorite models that I made. I really like it. So the dish is the dish from the Excelsior, mounted on a piece of a clear sprue there with a blue light at the end of it. We got a little phaser and turrets and photon torpedoes at the rear there, right above that little cargo slash shuttle bay. We've got a shuttle bay there, the main one, and I turned the Reliant shuttle bay into the impulse engines. So there. That's how we do things around here. Oh, we've got the little delta on the bottom. That big yellow band is, in my imagination, is meant to be like a sensor thing or something like that. Oh, we got the orange crystals. More crystals down there. Orange ones. That one was really fun. That was my last completed build series. I've recently started a new one, but I haven't been getting very far on it. I'm still where I was at the end of the first video that I made, and I've started making my second video, but I haven't done all that much building yet. So getting to that. I've been doing these live streams and focusing a lot on these live streams, putting a lot of energy towards these. So I think I'm not going to quit doing the live streams, but I'm going to do it less and focus a little less on doing the group live streams. And I got to start putting more of my creative energy, which for someone like me is finite, and you only get so much willpower to actually do the thing. It's different when you're opening the box, and you're looking at the instructions, and you put the model together, and you do everything the way you're supposed to do it. It's different. I'm not saying it's easier or anything like that. I'm just saying the process of it. Whoa, hey, the process of it is different. So you got to be in the right frame of mind. Like I need to be in the right frame of mind to do what I'm doing here. It's 8:57. Good thing I took a look. It's time for Canadian Starships. So if you guys would all be so kind as to rock on over. Trenton Bennett, you go over there too. How do I put a link? Just Canadian Starships on YouTube. Andrew's going to live stream. He's awesome. There's Russ. You're coming in right at the end, Russ. It's 9 o'clock. We're getting ready to take a break, and I'm going to stream again at 11 o'clock or whenever Andrew's done. I'm going to follow Canadian Starships again. Trent says, by the way, if you didn't see it, I'm working on an Enterprise D model Galaxy X triple nacelle. No, I missed that. Sorry. Oh, yeah, okay. Enterprise D model making nice. The Dreadnought class. Excellent. Russ saying hi to Trent. Hi, Russ. How are you doing, buddy? So, yeah, Russ, Trent, head on over to Canadian Starships. We're going to watch Andrew. I'm going to head over there, too, and I'm going to watch Andrew. I have to go for a drive, pick up my lovely wife, and I am going to stream again, and I'm going to pick up where I left off right here with this little weird, crazy Ferengi ship. Right where I am here. So we'll see you guys right after Andrew's show. Keep on trekking. And Howard, thanks for the super chat again, but not necessary. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, we'll see you guys in 2 hours. Thanks, Keith. And we'll see you in Andrew's chat, hopefully. Trent, Canadian Starships. All right. Bye for now, everyone.